See how blurry the background gets? Like, so if I'm back here, you can kind of see like the background not being as blurred. And as I move closer, it really isolates me. It could be a good or a bad thing, depending on who you are. But who's watching this? It's here. I don't know. It's like always weird looking inside the lens. It makes me like feel like I'm going cross-eyed. I look at the lens, it's like I'm looking at you. But then it's like I see the lens and it's just like, do I look directly in the center of the lens or do I look at the outer part or does it not matter? It's weird. How's life, everybody? I think I look better with the hat on. I think it's like a misshaped head and my hair and stuff. Like hiding this portion up here just makes this more pleasing to the eye. I think. I don't know. Again, it's also based on the person, right? Like when I had my longer hair, I was able to hide a lot of stuff to where it was just like less face. Someone's in here watching. I don't know who. If you're in here, say something. These colors are on point. I love this camera. I mean, I love my other camera too. I say each time because it's just like, I can't believe I have it. Like, there was a time in my life where I was like, I'll never be able to get a nice camera. Now I have two. What's up, Fernando Madera? How's it going? Just chilling here. You know, life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Literally just chilling. What's up with you? What brings you here? Okay. Thanks for stopping in. Life's been handing me rocks lately. Make mud. I'm kidding. What's wrong? Explain. Just saw you were live streaming, decided to check it out. Found your channel from DGD. Dance Kevin Dance. I forgot they existed. I'm sorry. It's just been so long since I've done them and since people's uh recommended them to me. Um, but wow, it's amazing. So you've been part of the channel for a while. Pretty cool. Yeah, my channel's like it's pretty much all over the place. So I was just thinking about how I'm gonna say it. So I was gonna say it's up in the air, it's out in the open, it's random. So I had all these thoughts and it just came out all wrong. Basically, it's just I just see I'm still thinking. My channel is just random. There we go. This light hitting me in the eyes not helping. So this is without the light. This is with the light, and it's like the camera's right next to it, so it's like blinding. You can see if I move it. So it was just like playing with my brain. But yeah, I got to do some more Dance Gavin Dance. I got to do some more, pretty much everything, honestly. Um, I don't know. I'm thinking about reacting to stuff that's not just music too. Like, hmm, not comedy, but just things that make people think, I guess. Because I notice a lot of reactors, they'll react to things that are like controversial, and I'm not gonna jump on that horror bandwagon where it's like scary stuff, haunted houses and witches and ghosts and all that. I think reactors give that like a bad rep. It's like they jump on it because it gives them views, and then they kind of like they pretend they're not actually like genuine because they know it's bull crap, like. But there's a lot of kids that watch their channels and stuff like that, so they just act accordingly. I've just been disappointed with like the music scene lately. It's just everything that I was anticipating, new releases just bore the heck out of me. Life is definitely not easy. There are ways to manipulate the system to make life easier. Just going through a rough patch, don't feel like I'm progressing in life, just staying out and keep pushing, getting pushed back, but I'm trying to stay strong. Well, I don't know who you are, where you're from, or what you did, as long as you love me. Just kidding. Maybe that made you smile a little bit. That Backstreet Boys. But no, for real, like, I don't know where you're from, how old you are, how your life is, who you live with, who your acquaintances, your surrounding friends are, etc. I don't know what you do for money, if anything. I don't know what you do for entertainment. There's a lot of context that has to be produced or said for me to give you an answer, because at the end of the day, we're all going through stuff. We're all messed up in our own right, and we are. What is this? There you go. Got it. Ah, this camera shows like every flaw. Look at this face. See, freaking sweat bumps. It's crazy. This quality's ridiculous. This depends on how you're watching it too, because I'm seeing it straight through the streaming software. You're seeing it on YouTube, probably on your phone. Man, am I even streaming 1440p? Yeah, not even doing 4K streaming, which is stupid because I should be. Let's see, video 2560 by 1440. Then again, no one's gonna watch it in 4K anyway, so that's fine. I'm not gonna switch it. I would have to end the stream in order to switch the settings. Hate this. Is this cord up here? It's my 3D. Well, VR rather. Guess that's 3D. I don't know. Check out Facebook. That's all you can do is stay strong. I mean, you can give up, but then what? I'm depressed too. I'm so used to being depressed that it's normal, and I'd feel weird. I'd feel weirded out if I wasn't depressed, because I would feel like something's wrong. These are some nice pictures. Wow. These are really good. Really good. Okay, this one's messed up. Like, yeah, the plants being there, no bueno. But it's really good though, overall. Really good photos. I don't say that often. You know, I suffer with temptation all the time. Every day I wake up just super lustful, wanting like my physical being wants to give in so bad. And I've been slipping up about certain things, but it's not good enough. For real. Yeah, I understand that part. Feeling depressed has just become a natural state for me. It's just like, but maybe your version of depression's different than mine. Like, I'm depressed because I'm, well, it's many things. It's many things. It's a whole 31 years of stuff. But it's like, the stuff I'm depressed about, people might think it's not that big of a deal. Like, if you believe in God, then it's weird. Like, you're not supposed to be depressed because God has your back, you know? If you live for Him, even when things are tough, it's just for like growth and it's not as bad as somebody who isn't believing and they're on their way to hell, etc. But I don't always think that way. I think like I'm still missing out on stuff. I'm still alone because like the main thing I'm depressed about is like literally I could just pick up a phone and bring some company over, you know. But it's not right because it would just be sexual temptation. That's pretty much. I mean, it's to fill in the void of like loneliness, right? Because I just went through a, well, the society will say a divorce because yeah, I did sign the divorce papers that she presented to me. I even got the divorce decree in the mail right before New Year's. But according to God, based on scripture, we're still considered married because we're still alive. Only death breaks the bond. But it doesn't stop her from venturing out and all this stuff. She doesn't believe. So it's just like I'm just sitting back and waiting. And it's sad because society would be like, you're a simp or you're a cuck or whatever. Someone is with your wife or your ex-wife or whatever, and you're sitting there alone, depressed. And yeah, parts of me feels that way. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm so like I'm embedded with society and the understanding on how people's minds are and people's opinions and how people label certain things. But on a spiritual side, it's like that's exactly what like it's exactly the way I'm supposed to be. Like I chose to get married. I have to live those consequences. Sure, I could, like I said, I could easily just pick up a phone and bring somebody over and then just screw it, forget it. Like, forget that whole entire idea of me being still married despite a human divorce decree, etc., whatever. But I know that it's not the intended purpose of marriage. Marriage is until death. So it spirals back to me being depressed because it doesn't change the fact that I'm miserable and I'm lonely and I'm bored. But then I have to shift my mind to a different direction where it's like I shouldn't be depressed about it because if I'm living righteously, if I'm living the way God wants me to, then I should be like floating on clouds right now mentally. I should be feeling like I'm in paradise because nothing is in my way to separate me and God because I'm not living a sinful lifestyle. But in reality, I still am, just in different ways. Like, I used to have a lot more sins under my belt, like the sin of like defiling the body through cigarettes, through alcohol, through drugs, right? And I quit all those things. I quit all three of those things. I quit weed. I quit cigarettes. I quit drinking. I quit psychedelics. I quit all these things. And it's like, yay, I quit, but I'm still sinning. So it's like, I might as well do it anyway because I'm still sinning regardless. And I'll never amount and I'll never be capable and I'll never be on a pedestal that God would want for me because I still deliberately dabble into sin. So then parts of me is just like, well, with that attitude, then I might as well just go all out again, go back on drugs, go back on alcohol, go back on smoking, and just call girls over every freaking day or, you know, whatever, stuff like that. But then it's like I feel like I'm in this realm, like I'm stuck to where like, well, I don't want to venture, like, the path is narrow. So if I'm widening that path and making it more broad because the broad path is the path of destruction, then it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy and I'm just beating myself up because of me feeling like, well, I'm not good enough and I still have all these temptations anyway. And like I'm right on that edge of just doing it. So it's just like that's why I'm depressed because I feel like no matter what I do, no matter what I say, no matter what goals I have, there's always going to be a physical force, like a human being, or a spiritual force, like a demon or something that holds me back, that uh, inhibits me from reaching a certain threshold, a certain potential that would enable me to not be depressed anymore. which that makes me depressed thinking about that. So I'm back to square one right now where I'm depressed thinking about all that over and over and over again. And it's like a paradox and it keeps going, keeps going and going and going and going and going. And life doesn't stop. And every second is a second closer to death. So I have that fear of just going to hell anyway. So it just keeps on going, no matter what. No matter what. And it's like we reap what we sow. And despite me not doing anything necessarily wrong in the past year and a half, it didn't prevent her from wanting to venture out and wanting to split up and wanting to separate the family and wanting to move out of this house and wanting to live in two separate houses and wanting to see other people and wanting to start over. None of that is what I want. None of it. I don't want any of that. But it didn't stop her. So I have to literally live with all of this up in here, knowing that she's destining herself for hell, not only doesn't care, but doesn't even believe to care. No matter how much I try to tell her, it doesn't matter. And then it doesn't do anything beneficial or positive for the kids, because the kids have to grow up in that split household where she's a non-believer and she's basing her life choices on her own intuition and her own thoughts and her own lustful behavior and thought process, like a loose cannon, that she doesn't even believe it's even wrong. So there's no way to combat it. There's no way to combat against it because they're primarily over with her. And if there was some type of custody order to where they're always here, she would just simply sabotage it regardless. So it's like if I trained you to run a marathon, right? If I trained you to run a marathon and trained you hard for like an entire week or an entire month, and then our time was up and you went back to your mom's house or your dad's or whatever, and that parent doesn't have that mindset of greatness, and you've only been doing it for a month and you gained all this training, but you listened to everything I said, so you followed my routine, but then you kind of like didn't have the motivation to continue because you're back at home. And your new guardian isn't on that state of mind. So you slip back and it makes my entire week or month with you pointless because you're not training anymore. You're done. So why the freak did I even train you in the first place if you're done? Why? What was the point? You did all that training with me. You started to see results. You started to get better. And then it gets detracted. Matter of fact, it gets reversed because now you're dealing with a retard who doesn't understand or care to keep you progressed. And it just irks my inner being every freaking second of my life. Because in my brain, I see it all and I know exactly how to operate and what to do. But I am stuck because either I gotta die or she gotta die. And even if I outlive her, it doesn't matter because, it's gonna be a long time. So I gotta be irritable and stubborn and bitter all the time. All the time. Knowing that. Well, RyanREAX, pray. Just pray for it. Pray. Pray for reconciliation. Even if we reconcile, we're not meant for each other. Because I have to backtrack in order to be on someone. I don't want to backtrack to be on your level. Come join me. Climb the ladder to me. I'm not going back down. Now I'm not going to sit there and be rude and just make it seem like this person that I'm referring to isn't holding a decent job and working and making money and stuff. But that's not enough. Like, I know we're all humans, we all have our own limitations and capabilities and just limits, But it's just like take a step back. And I've been saying this for many years, long before divorce, long before marriage, long before a lot of things. Like, take a step back and evaluate yourself. And just understand that there's 24-hour periods every day. And what can you do today to make tomorrow better? It's a joke because I can't change anybody. I can't change anyone's choices or mindsets or goals or ambitions or dreams or any of that. I can't do it. It's just not. I can only lead the horse to the water. And even then, it's a waste of my dang time. You know what? Fine, drown. You know what? Fine, die of thirst. Leave me alone. But then I'm still depressed because I'm still lonely. And then I get really rude and I get really crude and I get really mean and I get really just nasty in the mind. Like my thoughts get so twisted and sick and disgusting all the time because I know there's nothing I can do about it. It's because of the passion I have. I put so much passion into people's potential and they do not like when I train people it was like that. Like, oh, I can't sweat. I can't sweat. No, because you're not freaking moving your freaking body to sweat. You lazy piece of garbage. Like, it boils. Like, it's just like, I go Super Saiyan with the idea of people's mindsets and people's excuses. And then it makes me seem like the SJW or the snowflake. And then it just makes me like want to go the opposite. Fine, just freaking die. Just get off of the planet and leave me alone. Get away from me. Like, and then it makes me like really mean thinking that, right? Or even saying that, thinking that. Because I don't mean it. It's just like, what am I supposed to do? What am I doing here as a trainer at this gym? To be fair, there were some people that really like being super hard trained, and I would really push them. That was fine. But I wanted, like, because the more, if I can train somebody in a way that really pushes them, and yeah, I'm not a big dude. It's not about being big. Like, see, that's the misconception. I had to go through this my entire career of training, marathon running. I said, look, it's based on your goal. Although I'm not freaking Arnold, although I don't do steroids, although I'm not training for muscularity or strength, I'm training for overall general fitness, health, nutrition, right? Being able to be nimble and run for miles at a pretty consistent speed for somebody who didn't run at all into being 23 years old running. Actually, 22. 22 turning 23. Now I'm 31. But the point is, it's like people just give excuses and it's just annoying. And if I can train somebody and they want to be trained, it's going to motivate me to train harder because like they hit my training level. So now I have to level up. So them actually being inspired is inspiring me as well. So they're training me to become a better trainer, to be able to push myself to train them to get better. Because if they're at a level to where they don't want to be pushed, it's not going to elevate me to want to push them harder because they don't want it. And that just goes with everything. I notice I have a viewer in here. What's up? I don't know if it's still you or somebody else. I've just been on a tangent for like at least 25 minutes at this point. But it's just, that's how I have so much passion that I could sit here with nobody and just say all this stuff to maybe one day somebody actually watch and listen to it and become inspired. So it's like I'm planning for the future, even though yeah, just like all humans, we all want instant gratification. It's like this reward. It's like you do something and you want this reward mindset, dopamine, endorphins, getting that runner's high. It's still you. I don't know if you heard any of what I was saying though, but yeah, like so. If you heard everything I said, I'm just gonna sum it up. I'm depressed because I'm lonely and I'm miserable and I'm bored. But I have a way to just call someone to not be alone, but it's not making the right choice. So it's like I'm choosing to be alone because I'm putting God first, and that shouldn't depress me, but it doesn't change the fact that I am bored. I am extremely bored. I am extremely just alone. I mean, my son's downstairs on the computer. I had my daughter for like the past 2 weeks. She left yesterday. Then my oldest son, he's at his friends down the street sleeping over. He's 10. So I mean, it's nice, but it sucks because like for all those years we all just lived together. So it was just like because of her choices and her wanting to leave and me being in a state where it's a Commonwealth state where women always gets the rights and everything. It's like I have to go on eggshells and I have to go around just because I don't have like for instance, if she took the kids and left, I like if I tried to report her for kidnapping or something, right? Nothing would happen to her. Now, if I took all the kids and left, she could do that to me. It's a literal joke and it's an existence that I am tired of and it's annoying. So like the moral of the story is sin is the downfall to our society in many ways, shapes and in all ways, shapes and forms, really. And I took the bait and I messed up and I'm reaping with like what I sowed because I impregnated the wrong woman. I've married the wrong woman. I've been with the wrong woman. And that's it. And it's like God's like, with temptation, he gives us a way out. So he just simply putting my trust into him and essentially writing it off. Like, okay, whatever. I always preach that life is short. And again, make lemonade. I'm making lemonade out of it because like this is therapeutical. Me just talking about it, recording it, and just counting my blessings rather than counting my curses because there are people that are going through way worse stuff. Way worse. And it's all self inflicted. And I also think that like me telling my story might make somebody feel better about their life because some people think that they're going through something really bad and they hear someone else's story and it's like, wow, yeah, my life isn't that bad. And that's what keeps me going because I can apply that to me where I'm like, okay, my life isn't that bad because there are people like with nothing, like I'm very blessed. But I'm not like it's so hard to explain because that could be subjective too. A billionaire is very blessed financially. A millionaire is very blessed, and I'm neither of those two things, you know? But I'm blessed because there's people that have nothing, no place to live, no internet, no heat. You know, this light's off and it doesn't look as good, but I still have light. There's still light in the room whether I turn this light on, if I turn off all the lights, I'm still in four walls, I'm still in a 3-bedroom house. I'm clearly not hungry, I'm not malnourished by any means. I have random gadgets everywhere and just random stuff you wouldn't even know what this is probably, you know, just stuff. Like just random like headphones and I have things, but I'm not trying to just say financial stuff, but what I'm saying is it's more than what most people have, or many people, not most, but many people. And then I have my online friends, I got you guys, you know. But I'm still alone. So it's hormones, it's like yeah, it's sexual frustration, but I guess what makes me feel better it's like I'm not an incel because it's not involuntary celibacy, it's me choosing to be because I'm putting God over that. But it's still hard because my mind still throbs and I just want to give in. I want to give in. I want to give in. I want to give in. And it angers me. I don't want to give in. I don't want to. And if this was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I wouldn't think twice. Are you coming? Tufi, are you coming too? Like, it's disgusting, but it's just like it's my fault, for subjecting myself to all that stuff for since I was like before I was even double digits in age. And it's not just about sex. I mean, it's just I don't know, just the whole companionship with like relieving the sexual frustration as a bonus. We all go through it, I guess. Surprised no one else is in here. I mean, it's Sunday night. Everyone's out there in the world sinning, drinking, watching a game, whatever they're doing, playing a game, smoking, listening to music, getting drunk, getting high, giggling, having a good time with each other, or what they consider a good time. Just being amongst each other. And I'm just sitting here chilling, just wondering what the heck to do. Waiting for the ridicule to come in, replying to YouTube comments about, you know, why I don't do a vaccine or why I don't do this or and then what's crazy is it's like the believers are like clashing with each other because it's like my doctrine's correct. No, my doctrine's correct. No, you can remarry before death. Oh, you married before you she wasn't a believer. Like just random stuff, you know. It's okay. Once saved, always saved. You could accept Christ into your heart, rape thousands of people, murder people, steal, and do all these things, and you'll still go to heaven because once saved, always saved. Don't worry, you can't lose your salvation. There's no such thing as backsliding. Go ahead, gamble and do all these things and rob banks and rape people. It's all right. You already have your ticket. Your ticket's secure for heaven. You have the key. Just like, and then I explain how no, like you can backslide and deliberate sin is a ticket to hell. No, it's not. Blah blah blah. It's just like it makes me want to give up. Like it really does. It makes me not want to give a crap. And if I go to heaven and they all burn in hell and not make it, then it's like good riddance. Like finally, mission complete. Like leave me alone. Because it's gonna sound ignorant, but if I was the only one in heaven, it's messed up sounding, but like I'd be okay with that because I wouldn't have to suffer. I don't want anyone to suffer at all, but if people are choosing suffering and choosing the devil and choosing to just sin and choosing all these things, that's on them. But it's like, no, well, you have to be out there. It's like works won't get you into heaven, but like your faith will want you to do some works. And that's why I always talk about God in every video, but like it's just annoying because people just they don't want to hear it. I don't know, it's about the ones that do. I get it. So again, it spirals back to where I'm still depressed and lonely, but I shouldn't be. I should be counting those blessings. So deep down, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with me. All right, well, it seems like no one gives a crap. So as always, may the Lord Jesus Christ bless you. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next stream/video. Peace.